The nation's interactive station. Free call 0500 1053 89. Free call 0500 1053 89 now.
Hello, we spent the last nearly an hour celebrating Japan and those wonderful Japanese. They really are fantastic. Isn't that right, Steve, in London? You're on Talk Radio.
Yeah, there are some good things to be said.
Yeah.
I think the first thing about the culture that's very positive on a positive note is that they tend to put things in a whole perspective. They don't take it instance in isolation. The body, mind and spirit would be probably a typical example. But nevertheless, you've got to remember it's a culture that's built on incredible discipline, incredible suppression, and the people that don't conform to this are disciplined very severely. Having a Japanese lover who could recall, along with his friends, incredible, beatings for not doing perfect writing and the following. And it's not sort of prejudice or crap, it's actual reality. They're disciplined to an incredible level. Do you think that's a good thing?
Yeah, I do. And I think you could have done with a bit of it yourself.
Why?
Well, then your thinking wouldn't be so woolly, and you wouldn't use words incredible over and over again, where a bit of hard facts would do. I think you ought to go there and have a look for yourself.
I actually stayed in Tokyo.
Did you?
Quite a while, yeah.
Oh, in Tokyo?
Yeah.
Right, and you come back with your prejudices.
I don't mean they have a better standard of living, there's no doubt about that.
And how long have you been going out with this Japanese boy?
I've finished now, but I was on and off for about 2 years, mate.
Really? And that was all right in Japan?
It's not specifically that creates a few problems, but that's life. But nevertheless, I'm not dealing with those issues. I'm dealing with the actual issues of basic human skills, writing on what have you, computer literacy. The demands that are made on the individuals are unbelievable. It's almost draconian to that level.
But do you believe them?
I certainly do.
Well, how can they be unbelievable then? Come on, this is the Queen's English.
Yeah.
You can't speak Japanese and you can't speak English.
Yeah.
Yes. A little bit more discipline in the way you were educated, Steve, and we'd know exactly what you thought, and you'd be able to corroborate it with evidence.
Well, I don't think you can get greater corroboration than someone getting a beating, incredible beatings, endless.
Incredible,
days on end.
That's the third incredible.
Oh, okay.
It is credible if you believe it.
Continuous. We want to use a play of words.
Not a play of words, just use the English language
I could
properly.
get into that quite eloquently, but that's not the point. I think you're taking the issue in isolation and a couple of good things and saying, this is brilliant. And you're blowing it out of perspective.
Blowing it out of perspective. Free call 0500 1053 89.
Tommy Boyd.
I'll tell you what my team find vigorating about this show when they find it vigorating. It's this, that what we like to do is look at things that get a universally bad press and wonder whether it's a bit lazy of us to always be condemning it. We were thinking about anger the other day. Everybody knocks anger. Everybody says that anger, in virtually every single circumstance, is a bad thing. It's a dangerous thing. It always causes problems. It always puts people at their worst. It makes individuals and organisations and whole countries at their most vulnerable if they get angry. But is it always such a bad thing? It isn't, is it? There are times, plenty of them, not just when you're running out to play rugby, plenty of times when you need to be a little bit angry, more than a little bit angry. You need to be on the edge of getting a raving fury in order to, for example, drive well. Yes, free call 0500 1053 89. You watch Formula One drivers going round and round, and saloon car drivers going round and round, and motorbike riders as well. You can see, can't you, that they're all tensed up, they're white knuckle. The bottoms of their eyes are pushing up against the eyeballs because they're angry. They've got adrenaline coursing through their veins, and that is why they are driving at their best. Now, come on, that is a strong argument. Free call 0500 1053 89. Angry drivers are good drivers. They're concentrating hard. Adrenaline means that their alertness is 100%. They can tell what's going on to the left of them and the right of them, even though they're looking dead ahead and checking their mirror. All three mirrors. Free call 0500 1053 89. I'd rather have an angry driver coming the other way. I'd rather have an angry driver pulling out in front of me than somebody who is completely contented with the world, pootling along in third gear There's some nice music on the radio and some happy sunny thoughts. They're the people who are about to screech to a halt because suddenly they're on a roundabout without realising it. They're the people who get to a roundabout and just go round it, oblivious to everything else that's going on. Free call 0500 10 53 89. Angry drivers are good drivers. They're clear in their decisions. When you're a little bit angry, your mind is working 100%. If somebody asks you whether you believe A or B and you're a little bit angry, you will say, oh, A. And when you're driving, you have to make decisions quickly, but above all, with certainty if you're going to be a decent, safe driver. The ditherer is far more dangerous than the person who simply arrives... can you hear that? Can you hear that? Free call 0500 10 53 89. The person who arrives at a junction and decides that they're going to turn left, even though they're not sure whether they want to turn left or right, but they turn left smartly. Angry drivers keep the traffic flowing. They are assertive. They are confident. They are strong. If you pull out too far into a fast-moving stream of traffic and the car that's coming along next is being driven by somebody who is clenching their teeth, they'll see you and they will take appropriate action. Free call 0500 10 53 89. But if you're driving along in a steady flow of traffic and somebody nips in front of you from a side road, even though perhaps you think, well, maybe they shouldn't have done that, if it's an angry driver, they will have done it assertively, with confidence, and they will have done it well. And in so doing, they will be keeping the traffic flowing. Free call 0500 10 53 89. Angry drivers, buck your ideas up. Because if you're in danger of nodding off, or at least losing your essential alertness, nothing's going to spike up your concentration more than somebody 3 feet behind you in one of those big, fast German cars with their headlights on, suggesting that he wants to get past. Free call 0500 10 53 89. Angry drivers. They are the best drivers. I'm Tommy Boyd. This is Talk Radio. There's a good argument for listening.
Tommy Boyd. Free call 0500 10 53 89. 0500 10 53 89.
In celebration of anger, Olive calls from Middlesex. You're on Talk Radio. Olive, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, Tommy. Why are you being so obnoxious this afternoon?
I beg your pardon?
Why are you being so terrible this afternoon?
Terrible?
Now, you've just come out with a suggestion that angry drivers make the best drivers. How do you come up against that? How do you come to that conclusion?
Well, I've just spent 5 minutes explaining. What were you doing? Making a cup of tea?
No, I was not. I don't even drink tea.
What do you do with it then?
Well, I don't drink tea. You know, I have a cup of coffee in the morning.
Rub it in?
And I have... No, Tommy, and stop trying to be rude to get yourself being funny, because you're not. And a lot of people have been angry with you. My nephew was killed by an angry driver who had just come out of his house, had a row with his wife, would not stop on a pedestrian crossing and killed my nephew. Right? So when you come up with things like that, you come up with things like that.
I've got your word for it, and obviously there are terrible circumstances in which sometimes accidents happen and the people involved were angry. But I'm not talking here, I would have thought it's pretty clear, Olive, I'm not talking about people here who are blind with rage. I'm talking about people who are angry.
And what is an angry person?
Angry people work well. Angry people do well. Angry people do well in business.
All right.
They do well in industry. They do well on the roads. Angry drivers are good drivers.
I can say, somebody comes up to me and say, gosh, your desk is so messy. And I say, yeah, but that's because I'm working. Okay? I know where everything is.
Yeah?
Da-da-da. It doesn't make me an angry person.
No. Do you get angry?
Yes, I do.
Well, there you are then. You enjoy it.
No, I do not enjoy anger, to be quite honest with you.
Because why get angry then?
Because sometimes I'm forced to get angry.
Nobody forces you to get angry.
Well, all right. Nobody forces me.
No.
But I do get angry.
Yes.
And like I'm getting angry at you.
Well, you're enjoying it.
I'm not enjoying it in
Yes,
the
you
least bit, because it pushes my blood pressure on.
You're not in touch with yourself at all, Olive.
Tommy, you try and put people down when they don't agree with you, and that's your problem.
Well, so do you.
No.
Well, that's what you're doing now?
No.
Yes.
I'm just stating a fact.
Well, so am I.
Yes, you're stating a fact. You know, you're coming over with something. A lot of people have come over to you this afternoon. I've listened. Last week, I thought Talk Radio was so good because you weren't on.
Well, that's very kind of you. And it also benefited from your absence as well, I may say. Frank calls from Glasgow. You're on Talk Radio, Frank. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
What's up?
You're wrong.
I'm wrong.
Yes, well, I mean, you're mixing up two different things. You're mixing up anger and alertness. Someone who's angry is self-absorbed. They're not thinking about the world around them. They're only looking inside themselves at the causes of the anger. Somebody like that's much more likely to cause an accident, I'm afraid.
Don't be afraid. Be afraid of the driver who's driving along with their head in the clouds.
Granted.
Be afraid of that driver.
Yes, but I'm also afraid of the driver that's raging and annoyed and angry and ready just to lash out at the world around him.
No, I've made it absolutely clear over and over again. You must concentrate, Frank.
But I'm a pedestrian, right?
No, you're not. You're Frank. You're not anything. You're
I
not
never
a
drive.
pedestrian.
I don't drive a car. And the amount of drivers that nearly hit you, they aren't the lackadaisical drivers, they're the angry drivers driving too fast.
Well, if you were a bit more angry when you were on the pavement, you'd be a bit more alert and it would be less likely to happen.
Did you watch Michael Schumacher in the Formula 1 race hitting the other guy?
Fantastic.
He was angry.
No, he wasn't.
And he lost the race.
He wasn't angry.
He was raging.
He was very, very calm and collected about that.
Do you think radio presenters are better when they're angry?
Always.
Are you angry?
Not enough.
No, I don't think so either.
No, but I'm not going to fake it.
Okay, that's true.
There's nothing wrong with... nothing worse than faking it.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't fake it.
Well, depends on what I was faking.
Exactly.
It was nice talking to you.
It was great talking to you.
Bye-bye.
You're a nice man. Free call 0500 10 53 89. We're celebrating anger. Angry drivers do make better drivers. And let's be clear about this again. We're not talking about people in a blind rage. We are talking about people who have boosted their concentration levels, boosted their alertness, improved the way they're using their eyes and their ears and their minds and their hands and their feet by just raising their game, raising their edge. And if it takes a little bit of anger because you don't want to be driving to work, because you know the supermarket car park is going to be full, or because you know that when you get home nobody will have done the washing up, you're going to be a better driver. Why? Because you're a little bit angry. Who's beginning to learn how to manage his anger. Free call 0500 10 53 89. It's not just that anger isn't all bad. It's clear that under certain circumstances, and they've had no publicity, but we're here to change that. Anger is very, very good indeed. It improves performance in lots of ways. Surely, especially on the road. Andrew calls from London. You're on Talk Radio. Andrew.
Hello, Tommy.
Hello, Andrew.
Yes, about the angry driving. I think you're getting it confused with positive driving. Yeah? Driving positively on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have to be angry. I mean, I'm a driving instructor.
Yeah?
And I teach positive driving.
Yeah.
Not to get angry at all.
Yes.
What do you think?
Well, I think... Well, it sounds a bit sort of soppy to me, really, of a distinction, if you don't mind me saying so. You see, to be a positive driver, what you mean is you've got to be an assertive driver.
That's right.
Yes. Confident and strong.
Exactly.
Right.
But don't need to be angry, though.
But wait a second, you see, we are never, ever in no emotional state at all, are we? You're in an emotional state now of one form or another.
Possibly, yes.
Yes, possibly. Exactly. Okay?
Well, I mean, all right, what would you call me? In my job, would you think I'm an angry driver?
I would think...
Or am I one of these that could drive along poodling and like you're talking about, whistling and not a care in the world?
Well, I've got a funny feeling, yes.
I am.
No, and we wouldn't want to get stuck behind you. In fact, when you're...
Why not? Well, are they going too slow or
yes,
what
you would. You would. You'd be sort of cumbersome on the road.
No, I wouldn't agree with you. No.
And if we were stuck behind you trying to get out into traffic, you'd never pull out.
Oh, I would. I would.
No, you wouldn't.
I would. I've got to be, I teach good driving. I have to be a good driver myself.
I bet you when somebody toots, right, you turn around thinking they're tooting at you.
No.
Yes.
I take no notice of them. Because why should it be me? There's thousands of people driving, hundreds on the road. Could be anyone.
You say that, but that's not how you come across.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I can't convince you.
Maybe your problem is that you don't get angry enough.
No, I'm not really an angry person, and I can't be, can I? I notice if I'm angry on the road, I'll be teaching all people the same thing. I just teach them to drive carefully.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Can you hear that?
I can hear something in the background, yes.
Shh. Okay. It's Spanish, isn't it?
A bit weird. Yeah, I don't know where it's coming from.
It sounded...
Perhaps it was someone getting angry.
Listen. If I can hear it and you can hear it,
Yes.
and they've had storms in Europe, and apparently there's radio signals bouncing around all over the place.
Yes, an angry
shh,
weather
shh,
forecast.
shh, 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 shh. No, I can't hear anything now. Anyway, not to worry. No, I think if anything, Andrew, you'd probably get on a bit better. You could be a chauffeur, you know, if you got a bit more angry.
Be a chauffeur? Yeah, I could be a chauffeur. I don't doubt for a minute. Yeah.
Yeah, but you just need to get a little bit more anger into your act.
Okay.
What's the angriest you've ever got with a customer? Come on. You must have told them.
A slight raise of the voice, probably.
Oh, but aren't there times when you want to go, for God's sake?
No,
could have killed us.
Raise of the voice to try and enforce something. No, not to be angry. It turned into pieces.
Free call 0500 10 53 89. Thanks for your call, Andrew. I'm Tommy Boyd. This is Talk Radio in praise of anger, particularly angry motorists.
Conversation of the nation.
Here's Lewis, calling from West Wales. Welcome to Talk Radio, Lewis. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Sir.
People in the top quartile, or certainly the top decile of the IQ range, never get angry.
Oh, you say that?
Don't laugh, sir. Just let me finish.
You say that?
Just a minute. Don't interrupt. Let me finish. I've only said about 4 words.
Yes, but they were
No,
nonsense.
wait a minute. Don't interrupt.
Why not?
Because I've only said 4 words.
You didn't say 4 words. You said about 12.
No. I said, I'll repeat it, people in the top IQ range don't get angry. That's 7 words.
Says who?
Pardon?
Says who?
Analysts who have taken years of their life to analyse angry people.
Well, analysts would, wouldn't they? But who?
Well,
Who?
Why do you keep interrupting, sir?
Because I want you to tell me who. Which analysts?
Pardon?
Which analysts?
IQ analysts, intelligence analysts.
Who?
What else?
Name one.
Pardon?
Name one.
Dr. Isaac, Professor Isaac.
Everybody names Isaac. Name another one.
Well, I can name half a dozen. I'm one myself.
Oh, you've got a very high IQ.
Yes.
But you're getting angry.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No, you're getting angry.
No, you're getting angry.
You must be getting angry, sir, if you keep interrupting me.
And
That's
you-
a sign of anger.
And you were getting angry with me, sir.
No.
Yes, you were.
Because you keep interrupting me.
But you got angry.
Why do you keep interrupting me?
Did you get angry or not?
No.
A little bit.
I had to shout at you because you... And you keep... And you're still interrupting me. You purport to have a program which allows the people of the nation to speak their mind.
I don't.
But then you're interrupting me again.
Well, you get your facts wrong. Because you get your facts wrong all the time, and I can't allow people to broadcast make-up stuff.
To have a program which allows the people who phone in to speak their mind.
I don't. I'm sorry, is there an echo in here, or do you just like repeating yourself over and over again?
Is that the talk radio program I have?
Yes, it is.
Well, what does it purport to do?
It purports to offer you a good argument for listening, and you're getting one, pal.
A good argument for listening?
Correct.
But you're not giving me an argument, you're just interrupting.
Well, you don't seem to be able to deal with anything I'm saying.
I'm not about to deal with you. You're a bigot, and an interrupting bigot at that. So why do you do it?
Now you're
why
just
don't
being
you go
insulting.
and have yourself analysed as to why you keep interrupting people who are making a case?
Because analysis...
Just shut up for a moment.
Because analysis...
Shut up for a moment.
Because analysis...
Shut up.
Because analysis...
Shut up, you fool.
Because analysis...
You had a gentleman on the other minute there who had spent his whole life teaching people to drive, and you are sufficiently bigoted enough to report to the nation that he doesn't know what he's talking about.
He hadn't spent the whole of his life teaching people to drive yet.
Only a radio presenter. You're not a driving instructor. And that gentleman was trying to educate you. Bigots are those who will not be told, who will not be educated. Why will they not be educated? Because they're of low IQ.
He was only phoning up for an argument like you.
I can't understand that it's because they're of a low IQ, they won't allow themselves to be educated. It's called bigotry. Good day, sir.
Good day, sir. There. That was Lewis in West Wales. A man of very high IQ. You ask him. But I bet you don't. Alan calls from Essex. You're on Talk Radio. Alan, good afternoon.
Hello, Tommy.
Alan.
Yeah, I think the argument's getting a bit out of hand now, don't it? You're doing a very good job at winding these people up.
Well, poor old Lewis.
Well, there you go, mate. I mean, I think he's going to go away and have a cold shower now to cool himself down.
I shouldn't think he's got a shower.
Well, possibly not. But at the end of the day, I think you started off at a very good pace.
Yes.
A very good wind-up at the beginning, but gradually, as more and more people are coming through and blowing their top, I can't honestly agree with you about angry drivers, to be perfectly honest.
Well, maybe you never thought about it before, Alan. There's an awful lot of things you see that we just think we ought to think. When we discover that, there is another way of looking at it, then really, it's like a whole new love affair.
Yeah, it is, but then if you get down to the basics of it, you two got really angry. He wouldn't let you talk. You wouldn't let him talk. At the end of the day, that's what you call real anger. And I think if you was in a driving seat, let's put it this way, we like to be called professional drivers because that's what I do for a living.
What do you drive?
Well, I drive HGVs.
I bet you get very angry sometimes.
I think frustration is a better word, Tommy.
Why hide it, Alan? Why not be proud of how it is? You get angry sometimes.
Well, no, I don't think anyone can be proud of getting angry, can they?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You see, this is the fight that I have to have every day with people who simply don't recognise themselves, and when they do, they're disgusted. You get angry sometimes. Make that connection and be proud of the fact that sometimes you get angry. Because when you're angry behind that great big wheel, Alan, I bet you're driving at your best.
No, I would say I'm not. I would say that, in all fairness, that I'm probably a worse driver when I'm angry than I am when I've got me wits about me and I'm cool, calm and collected.
Mind you.
Because I can accept... I mean, the difference is a different aspect of driving anyway, because you're sitting 12 foot up in the air and you can see everything that's going on, and if you've got bloody good eyes, you can see 200-300 yards in front of you where most people can only see 10 or 15.
Well, if we got any... Thank you, Alan, for your call. If we got anything out of this hour at all, it's the admission from an HGV driver that from time to time he gets angry, and when he does, he's not a very good driver. Funny, isn't it, really? You try and get a slip catch, you end up getting them on the boundary. But as long as they're back in the pavilion, it doesn't matter. Andrew calls from Bradford. You're on Talk Radio. Andrew, good afternoon.
Good afternoon there, Tommy.
Andrew.
I'm a first-time caller, so you'll have to bear with me a bit. It's about when I was working down London about 10 years ago, and I was driving. I had to go down very early. I was working very early down London, so I set off about 4 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I had to work all day on the exhibition job, and then I was driving back home at night, and I'm not a usual lorry driver. I drove to my limit, like a 7-ton lorry, on the way back. And I started actually falling asleep. I got to about maybe Manchester, and I started nodding off because it's got like air conditioning and radio, and I started nodding off. And all of a sudden, I hit the cat's eyes at the side of the road, and they brought me round a bit. So I'm just trying to bring the point across it. My adrenaline popped in then, my sort of fright of flight, and that sort of got me all the way back home. So I'm just trying to bring in the point of anger and adrenaline, like two different things. It does actually make you more alert. It does, get your wits about you, and it actually got me home, so it saved my life really that night.
Yes, that's a very good point. What sort of driving do you do?
Well, that's what I say. I don't do so much driving. I mean, it does bore me a bit. So it would just... I'm a normal car driving licence, and you can drive up to like a 7.5 ton, and that's what I was driving. I wasn't used to driving. I wasn't used to working like all day really, and then driving back. It was just a job that they told me to do that particular time, and I wouldn't do it again. Like
no. Thanks for your call to Sean, calling from Belfast. You're on Talk Radio, Sean.
Hello, Tommy.
Sean.
If someone is angry and they're driving, they're angry at something.
Yeah.
So there's something in their head.
Yes.
That they're remembering, and that's why they're angry. So if they have something in their mind that's making them think about anger, then they're not 100% concentrating on the road. Someone who has no anger in their head is thinking about what they're doing, about who's around them.
No, I don't go along with it, Sean. I think that once something has happened which has generated anger in an individual, adrenaline is released, and that adrenaline remains in your system for a considerable time after its release. Certainly long after you're harbouring mental images of whatever triggered that release.
But you're still bound to remember what it was. If someone's pulled out in front of you and they didn't put their indicator on, you're going to, whenever you're driving on past them, you're going to look back in the mirror thinking, geez, what an idiot. You're going to remember that, and maybe you'll hit someone, and then your mind just goes off your driving. You're thinking about someone or something else.
Can you hear that? Can you hear that?
I heard that music there.
Can you hear that?
Yeah, I heard it in the radio as well earlier on.
Did you?
Yeah, people talking or something.
Yes, exactly. They've got this cloud thing over the Bay of Biscay or something.
I thought it sounded Japanese, but I thought it was you playing it in on purpose.
No, it wouldn't be. You wouldn't get radio from Japan, would you? Over here, but sometimes you do get stuff over from the continent. Shh, listen.
Sounds like the opera.
Listen. Can you hear? It's very faint.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just finding it annoying. I hope you're not.
No.
All right. Thanks for your call. Free call 0500 105389. It's gone. Is it? And Ricky's our next caller in London. Ricky, you're on Talk Radio. Hello.
Hello, Tommy.
Ricky.
Hi. Totally agree with you.
Yes?
Totally agree with you. No, I just find we're a nation of people that are frightened of getting angry. You know, everyone thinks that when someone says they are angry, they're going to get violent. And they're going to get abused, and they're going to lash out. And that's not the fact. Lots of times I say, well, I'm angry, and I start seeing them clam up and move away, and it's like, I'm going to start striking them. I just said I'm angry, for God's sake. What's wrong with being angry? You know, I've made all my decisions, all for most of my life, because I've got angry. Because I've got to a point I'm fed up with doing the same thing, tripping over the same mistakes every time, so I change. I get angry about it, and I make a decision, and I do something different. Doesn't mean I'm going to drive madly. Doesn't mean I'm going to hurt anybody else. It just makes me do a positive thing.
I think it also helps us to make decisions clearly. And hang on. Can you hear that?
Not my end.
No, just wondered. Don't know if you've got a good radio at home. I can. Anyway, where was I? You often get in life people put off making a decision until, in the end, it gets their goat, and they go, right, that's it, I'm going to nail this once and for all. It was anger that helped them to move along in their lives.
And the question was in the beginning, was that anger makes you drive more carefully, and it does, because you're actually more alert than someone sitting there and not making any decisions. You know, because you're just playing it safe. You're just going along the middle of the road, not concentrating on anything really, apart from what's going on inside your head, apart from what's happening at the four wheels in front of you.
You see, we like to get angry when we're driving. That's because we know that it improves our driving. When we get in our car, practically everybody else on the road isn't driving very well, are they?
No.
You look at them going along and you find yourself going, what's he doing? And who does he think he is? And he's going too fast, and he ought to move over. And look at him wobbling around.
But at least you're looking. You're looking, aren't you? All the time. You're noticing things like that. People that don't notice things like that are the ones to be scared of.
Yes. The good driver notices other drivers, notices how bad they are. He's pumping himself up, making himself more angry, making himself a better driver.
But no one said you have to drive recklessly.
No.
That's a different subject.
That's a different business.
Yes.
Thank you for your call. Free call 0500 1053 89. I like you.
Well, in my life, I'm 27 now. I've met about half a dozen what I would term to be intelligent, very, very wise and clever people.
Yes.
And you, my friend, slot right at the top. And I'll just have to say we've had some people today who are so closed and are not prepared to listen to a different angle from a very wise man. And all I've got to say to these people is that you're chumps. And you've got to listen to me, and you've got to listen to Tommy. You've got to listen to wise people. Open your mind.
Stay with us for a second, Steve. I understand John, who's calling from Antrim, wants to give you a round of applause. John, you're on Talk Radio with Steve.
Yeah, I'm just glad that they managed to dig out a couple of your cousins or your nephews for those last couple of callers, Tommy. I don't think I've ever heard you lose an argument more spectacularly early on. You know, I feel personally that, you know, you started it with, if you're angry, you drive better, and the first couple of callers knocked you back, and already you're trying to sort of, you know, change your tack and say, trying to focus it, well, there is this area where it gives you a little edge if you're angry. And, you know, you've been saying things to people, like you said to the last guy, or the Sean, I think, was calling from Belfast. You know, you were telling him that the adrenaline's still pumping and you've stopped thinking about what made you angry in the first place. You know, I don't know how you can possibly say that without any, proof, and it's rubbish.
The thing about this bloke, Steve, is that he doesn't realise that he has no authority on this subject whatsoever, because the only thing that you might get angry with on the roads of Antrim are cows, and that doesn't happen very often. So who does he think he is, eh?
Well, I think a lot of people aren't prepared to admit that they've driven with an essence of anger inside them. We've got some very, very close people who are coming on the radio. They're coming out with these things, the PC angle.
Yeah.
You mustn't jump into your car when you're angry. Oh, no.
Are you listening to this, John?
Yeah. Well, the truth is, John, a bit of anger, a bit of adrenaline pumping when we're in these vehicles, these powerful machines, which are very dangerous. When we've got that bit of anger, it will keep us on our toes. It will keep us driving in a straight line without anything, without any thoughts flourishing in your mind. You're going to be sitting there like a test dummy with your head flopping and nodding off,
Well, I think, Steve, the first thing I'd like to say is I'm already delighted with the success of McCall, because Tommy just come back with the small insult, which always shows a certain degree of success. Now, you mentioned PC anger. Like, to be honest, I'm the type of person who's a bit politically correct. I'm as politically correct as a gang rape, but so that doesn't come into it. And I think what you've just said there in your last comment, I would say that the type of driving you've described would suggest you're probably also doing about 10, 15 or 20 miles an hour faster than you should be. If you're in the sort of mood that you're talking about.
Can you boys just stay with us, and we'll finish this one in just a second. It'll be gloves off just for another minute or so. I'm Tommy Boyd. We're discussing anger and why angry drivers are better drivers on Talk Radio.
Radio, the nation's interactive station. Recall 0500 1053 89.
In celebration of angry motorists, we have Steve in Suffolk, who agrees, and John in Antrim, who doesn't, and he's doing his best not to get angry, because that would completely blow his case.
Yeah, it certainly would. I'm actually a bit deflated, because that ad for the world's greatest lover, I thought you were
No, we don't talk about things like that, advertisements on the radio, if you don't mind.
No,
I didn't realise you were an amateur caller.
Oh, sorry, Steve. Sorry, Tommy.
Hopeless, aren't they, Steve, really?
Absolutely.
I mean, he's listened to the radio. He must have listened to commercial radio for years. He still doesn't get it.
No, I thought that was me coming on again, the world's greatest lover.
Will you shut up?
Oh, sorry.
Please don't refer to commercials.
Sorry.
Thank you.
And remember, listeners, other lovers are available.
Oh, yeah, well, that'll do. Okay. Now, where were we? We were talking about angry motorists.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what about my point about going maybe 10, 15 miles an hour faster than you should be?
Quite frankly, John, if I want to just bring up one of your points initially, my word, where are we coming from now? Is that Holland?
Can you hear that?
I can hear that.
It's very lederhosen, isn't it?
Birdie birdie.
Did you hear that?
Uh-huh.
I've had that all afternoon in my ears. Do you have any idea what it's like?
Well, you've got very good headphones on, so it must be extremely annoying.
Well, it is, because... Hang on,
It is, isn't it? It's lederhosen music.
Can you hear it? What is it?
It's
Radio Norway.
Pan-European radio.
It's brilliant, isn't it? Can you boost it in any way? I don't suppose you can, but whilst I've got these two blokes on, we might as well have Radio Oslo. Hang on.
Oh, a bit of Français.
It's French.
Royaume-Uni 2 points.
Hang on a sec. Can you hear us, Johnny Frog? Hello? Give me a big shout. 1, 2, 3, boys. Hello?
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Tommy, I wonder, do they drive faster or more, if you drive more angrily on the left-hand side of the road than the right?
I'd rather speak to the frog if I can. Hello?
I know you would.
Hello?
More chance of winning.
Can you hear me? No, I don't think they can. Let's just try again, boys. Shall we? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Hello, hello. 1, 2, 3.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
No joy.
No.
Hang on. Shh.
Oh.
Try again, boys. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Hello,
hello.
Hello. Hello.
He's stopping speaking.
Can you hear us in France? No, it can't happen.
No, I would imagine we're just picking him up.
Hello. Hello, can you hear us in France? Pierre. Hello? Who's that?
Oh.
Hello?
No.
I hope this isn't just a sort of diversion when an argument goes pear-shaped.
No. Nah. It was worth a try, wasn't it? Where were we? John in County Antrim.
He's saying that the argument's gone pear-shaped because...
So you bring in Radio Francais just to distract people?
Well, no, John, look, just because you've got a little bit of anger in your body, you know, it doesn't mean that anger flows down through your foot. And you have to increase the speed of your vehicle. Absolutely not. You know, I've seen you know, senior citizens in these little trolley things that they ride down the sidewalk, down the pavement. You know, that can do no more than 5 miles per hour. Yeah. They've been very angry with people waving their stick about. You know, they don't increase the speed of their vehicle just because they happen to be angry.
Yet again, you're focusing on a tiny sort of area of the driving.
Well, no, you brought it up. You brought up the speed.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm focusing on your argument, John.
Yeah, I thought that. Yeah, my point was what Steve was saying. With the sort of mood and frame of mind that he was describing could also bring about you travelling maybe 10 or 15 miles faster than you should be, you know, and I believe maybe it would.
Maybe in some people, John. You know, what we're saying, we can't categorise everybody.
Oh, well, we're moving into
pot.
great intangibles now, you know, fair enough, I agree with that. You know, it doesn't... automatically, I'm just giving you my opinion.
It doesn't automatically, so you agree with me?
No, I'm just saying that it's a great intangible. Nobody can say whether it would or not. I believe that it would.
So all I'd like to say, John, is that Steve and I would rather be in front of you than behind you. And damn it all, boys, that's where we are. Right, Steve?
Good stuff.
Free call 0500 10 53 89. In celebration of the angry motorist, the better motorist. I'm Tommy Boyd, this is Talk Radio. There's a good argument for listening.
Free call 0500 1053 89.
Yes, if you think about it, the driver who is a little bit angry is probably driving a little bit better than the driver who is driving along with his or her head in the clouds, oblivious to everything, humming a happy tune, thinking happy thoughts, cruising along in third gear. Not paying attention, not honed to perfection mentally. Free call 0500 10 53 89. I can't think of many areas of human performance which aren't improved by a quick shot of adrenaline. That's why surely drivers who are a little angry are driving a little better. Claire calls from Hertfordshire. You're on Talk Radio, Claire. Good afternoon.
Hello, Tommy.
Claire.
I'd just like to say that I've witnessed this phenomenon. Sorry about that. Firsthand, my friend Bonnie. She's a very nervous driver normally, and she's always like very shaky on the roads. But if someone cuts her up or anything, the adrenaline pushes through, and she becomes much more alert and faster, and not over the speed limit. But instead of like meandering along at sort of 25 miles an hour in a 70 zone, she sort of pushes herself up and doesn't worry so much about what's going to happen next.
Experts in motivation call it being psyched up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it works.
Definitely.
You're better at anything if you're psyched up for it.
I agree.
Aren't you?
And so instead of, you know, she's like wondering about this, worrying about that, am I going too fast, am I going too slow, am I going to be able to stop? She sort of, her brain sort of ticks a little faster and she can cope better.
A lot of men don't realise this and they say to their partners who are driving, calm down, calm down. Whereas what they should be saying is stay there, stay there.
Yeah, true.
You'll get there quicker and you'll get there safer.
Definitely.
Yeah. Nice talking to you, Claire. Thank you for your call.
Thanks, Tom.
Hypothesis, it is. Frank calls from Newcastle. You're on Talk Radio, Frank. Hello. Frank, you'll have to start again. I didn't switch you on properly. My apologies.
Oh, it's okay. I'm an angry driver.
You are?
Yep. You know, my hero was, can you remember that kid in Germany about 1979 when he pinched a tank and he went berserk through Berlin?
I remember.
Smashed cars up all over the place.
Yes.
And give him 12 months.
Yes.
I wish I could speak to him now, because he was my hero, you know.
You'd love to have done that.
You know, when I've driven down the M25 many a time,
yeah,
on that North Circular, around Red and down the M4 and all that,
yeah,
in the rush hour, that's when I wish I had a tank, you know.
Yeah.
Because I really firm, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Blood pressure goes through the roof.
A really fast tank.
Yeah, a good one, you know. Preferably with a couple of rockets on either side, you know, so you can clear the way through. You know what I mean?
Either way, I was driving along one of the motorways you just mentioned in the pouring wet, and it was gathering gloom one winter's afternoon, and behind me was this huge tanker. It was silver. It almost looked like it was out of a science fiction film. It was Dutch. I don't know what it had in it, chemicals or oil or something like that.
Yeah.
But it had one of those big klaxon horns on the front. Do you know what I mean? The ones
I wish I had one of them. Yeah, they're brilliant, aren't they?
They go... Well, I'm in the slow lane, okay?
Yeah.
And he comes up behind me. So I thought, I better get going. So I sped up, overtook a couple of cars, and he's behind me. So I pulled in to let him go past, but he didn't. He pulled in behind me.
Yeah.
He was enjoying himself, annoying me.
Blood cat and mouse, yeah.
I don't know, yeah. And every so often he'd flash his lights and then go... Well, I got frightened.
Well, that's not surprising.
But that wasn't good.
Yeah.
And I suspect...
He was angry.
Yeah, a lot of people, when they talk about emotions which can damage the quality of your driving, are confusing fear with anger.
That's correct, yeah.
Anger is a very positive emotion, isn't it, Frankie?
Yeah, that happened to me in Belgium once. You know, going through Antwerp. You know that long tunnel you go through?
Mm.
And my car, for some reason, I don't know why, it just suddenly stopped. And had the same thing behind me, going, you know. Yeah, I got a bit of a fright, I tell you. I didn't get angry. I just put my foot down and got out of it quick.
Hey, great to talk to you, Frank. Thank you for your call. I've got to squeeze in Martin, who calls from Bristol. You're on Talk Radio, Martin. Hello.
Oh, good afternoon.
Martin.
Hiya.
Yeah.
I've been racing motorbikes and coming up to my 6th year now. And at the beginning of the programme, you were saying that, you see people all tensed on the track and everything like that. The thing is, if you actually get angry out on the circuit, you're more likely to have an accident than if you keep yourself level-headed, relaxed, and read the situations which you're confronted with and drive to those situations and just getting the red mist, as they call it, and just going out and go sort of completely mad, because all you do is you put yourself in danger and other people. So it's not always the case that anger can actually make you a better driver.
Well, it would make you a better motorcyclist.
I don't think so. I don't think I'd agree with that, no.
But are you any good?
Well, I'm respectable, yes.
Well, respectable's not good enough, is it? That's why the Americans and the Japanese are beating us with motorbikes.
Well, they're not. I mean, Carl Fogarty's been world champion for the last couple of years.
Yeah, I bet he gets angry.
Well,
I've seen him angry.
He doesn't get angry to the point of being mad.
He gets angry, though.
No.
He's pumped up.
You can be pumped up.
That's what I'm talking about.
As soon as you get on the track, I mean, I get pumped up. Every racer gets pumped up.
Well, this is what I'm talking about.
Yes, but that's before you start the race. As soon as you get out on that thing, you must relax. You must take things...
No, you're not a doctor, are you, Martin? Adrenaline doesn't evaporate.
Well, no, it doesn't
evaporate. It's coursing through your veins the whole of the time you're racing. Well,
yes.
It's the release of adrenaline that I'm talking about.
Yes, no, you're on about being angry.
Yes,
and I'm saying that being angry doesn't actually achieve make you a better rider. Adrenaline, yes, you need an adrenaline, because, I mean, that is part of your safety sort of reactions and everything. It speeds you up. But,
Look,
I mean,
mate,
to actually be angry...
Yeah, you can call it what you like. We can argue about the semantics of the meaning of individual words until we're blue in the mouth. It won't get us anywhere, and it doesn't make interesting radio. But what is a fact is that you finally recognise that if you get yourself pumped up, and if you got your teeth clenched and your eyes narrowed, and your knuckles dripping...
You won't race well. If you're all tense on a bike...
No, you won't. That's yes, because you're no good.
Well, no, if you read any documents on racing motorcycles, being tense on a bike actually does not make you a good rider.
I would sooner read the MFI instructions on how to build a flat pack than read anything on motorcycling. Martin, you just need to pump yourself up a little bit more and you might win a race. Ronnie calls from Glasgow. You're on Talk Radio, Ronnie. Good afternoon.
Hi, Tommy.
Hello, Ronnie.
What a load of garbage you're talking.
No.
Utter garbage, Tommy.
No.
You've that bad, you've got me angry. If you get... Now, this might sound like a PC brigade. It's not... I'm a professional driver. I hold a PSV licence and an HGV licence. And if you get angry when you're driving, that is when you make mistakes. Yes, you may think you're more alert, but you're not. You're more inclined to say, I'm getting that, I'm going for it, and you go for a mistake. I've seen it happening. I've been driving for 18 years, and I've seen it umpteen times.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about you lot in lorries.
No, I'm not talking about lorries. I'm talking about anybody driving.
No, but your credentials are for driving big machines that people bounce off anyway. I mean, you lot don't have to take care.
Oh, we do.
We don't.
I mean, at the moment, I'm driving buses, which is carrying the most valuable cargo there is.
Yeah, but still, nevertheless, you can
so you
run
can't
into
afford
something.
to bounce it off things.
Yeah, but when you're driving a big thing, you don't have to be so alert.
You do.
No, you don't.
You do. You have to watch for idiots like Tommy Boyds, who's sitting in his car angry, cutting you up.
When you're on a bicycle, mate, that's when you have to be alert.
Bicycles should be banned.
That's
full stop.
Call James Whale. He probably would agree with you on that one. We're talking about driving skills, and I am here to tell you, as somebody who has minimal experience of driving ordinary cars, which is what makes up 97% of people on the road, okay? That if you're on edge and alert and concentrating and driving in a strong, positive fashion, in other words, if you're a little bit pumped up when you're behind the wheel, you're a better driver. And Ronnie, it's a fact.
No.
Yes.
The best driver is the driver who is relaxed behind the wheel. He will. I'm not talking about somebody sitting in Cloud Cuckoo Land the way you're talking about. I'm talking about someone who is relaxed, but he's mentally alert. Now, whether you want to call that adrenaline pumping, I suppose there is a certain amount of adrenaline, yes.
Yes.
But there is no anger whatsoever.
All right, thanks for your call. Going to squeeze in Harry, who's our last caller today, and Harry calls from Le Touquet.
All right.
Harry.
All right, mate.
I'm all right. Where
we
are you?
can hear you. You keep asking us about France, and we're telling you we can hear you over here.
Where exactly are you?
Le Touquet.
Whereabouts exactly in Le Touquet?
Well, basically near the beach area. We're painting someone's house up.
You're painting somebody's house up in France, and you're able to hear talk radio?
Yes, and you're driving us all mad over here.
Is this God's honest?
God's honest, honestly, we're talking to you now.
Only we've been picking up French and German radio all afternoon.
Yeah,
so
well, we've been hearing that. We can't hear it that well.
Can you hear? Did you hear the German radio?
No, we can't hear the German.
No.
Anyway.
Anyway. Yes.
Go on, carry on.
No, I was just saying. You said anyway, so I said anyway. I can speak your language.
It's nice to hear from you anyway.
Yeah. Just briefly, very quickly, how did you get the painting and decorating gig then?
Don't forget to subscribe and like. Comment too if you wish. Even slap your legs and make a purchase from Ann Summers. But don't do nothing.